Alright, so this is going to be my video covering female body physics. I'm going to go over Bodyslide, and real quick I'll go over doing an outfit replacer. Um, I have my text guide and the guide sticky for female body physics, but I figured I'd do a video guide for people that prefer um, video over reading. Alright, so get started. First thing you're going to want is forge new idols. So when you go here on Nexus, come down to files and make sure you're downloading the VR version. So you'll download that. Come over, I already have it installed, but I'll show you. So if you're using Mod Organizer 2, this might come up. Some mods don't have the data folder set in the right spot that Mod Organizer likes, so that's why you get that error. If that's the case, a lot of times the data folder's a folder down, or sometimes it just doesn't have one. You can create one, create new directory, name it data, then right click it, and then set data directory. So since this one already has it, it's just in a different format. You're just going to right click, set data directory. And that way it's set up how it likes it, looks good. Alright, so you hit OK. I already have mine installed, so I'm not going to hit OK. So we got that one done. Alright, after that, you're going to get your skeleton. This program is required to load this skeleton. It loads some scripts for this to work, for everything to work properly. So without running this program, all this is not going to work. So you go here, this is our main skeleton. This is the skeleton underneath the body. You're going to go, there's only one download, so you go ahead and download that. Now with this one, there's several options when installing. So when you're installing it, most important is you're going to do physics extensions. Go to next. You can do MCM since we have a working MCM, that's fine. And it really doesn't matter though, because you're not going to really need to use any of this. You can hit none if you want, but MCM's fine. Alright, for this I do none. And all this is really preference. I use pretty combat animations, so I kind of match it up with the ones I pick on pretty combat animations. So if you're not sure and you're going to use pretty combat animations, you can install that later. Just remember what you picked and then come back when you're picking these and pick the same ones. So go through that. For all the on the back stuff, I don't use it. So I go none, none. I don't use. You can use belt fasten quivers if you want them on the sides. If not, leave that off. Joya perspective, don't use that. Schlongs of Skyrim, if you use that, click it. If not, none. Deadly mutilation does kind of work. It's pretty buggy, so I don't really use it anymore. It doesn't really work with custom armors either, and 90% of my armors are custom armors, so it's kind of pointless to me. So none. Enderall's obviously that's going to be none, and then hit install. Alright, so once you have your skeleton installed, I just want to make a quick note. I got this here. So by default, XP32 has realistic ragdolls enforced installed. It has the realistic settings. So if you're good with the realistic settings from this mod, then just completely skip it. You don't need it at all. If you want the higher force version, there's a couple versions in this mod. You can still use it and load it after this one, but if you're good with the realistic, then completely skip this. Alright, so once you have your fours and your skeleton, you're going to have to decide on a body. So for me, I use UMP Blessed Body. You can use cbpe. The reason I use this one is overall I've just found more armors from various sites that I use that are UMP based. A lot of the older replacers are UMP based. You have a lot more options with old room mods because most of the UMP stuff will work. Whereas CBBE was changed, so a lot of the old room CBBE stuff will not work with the SSE CBBE body. There's a lot of variants of UMP. This one's one of the more popular ones, but if you want to make your own, I'll show you how to do that after. For right now, I'll assume you're just not going to make your own, so you're going to use either UMP Blessed Body, the standard UMP, which is this one, or the CBBE, this one. Alright, so when you install Blessed Body, you're going to get some options. You want to do HDT SMP here and hit install. And that's all you need for that. Now with any body, you need a skin. The skin obviously is the texture over the body. There's tons of options, but this is the one I usually use. It's got a bunch of options to customize it. So when you're here, so for body type, since we are not using, this is if you wanted to use this body. We already installed our body, so you're going to go with the no body. So you hit next, and then it's just personal preference. You pick whatever you want. If you want fit, muscular, whatever. These are all whatever you want. And then for this one, I do scars, 1K, 1K, 1K. And then that's it. You don't have to use tempered skin. There's tons of other ones. Mature skin's popular one. If you just type in UMP skin, there's a bunch of them. This one's pretty good. Pure is pretty good, although this one's only 4K. So Pride of Valhalla is good if you want a more muscular look. Anyways, so you pick your skin mod and install that. After that, we're going to go for our physics model. So that's going to be cbpc. So you're going to come here and you'll install it or download it. So you reinstall it so I can show you the options. Alright, so here obviously we're going SkyrimVR. Next. So now you want to click your body type. So this has preset configurations set up for these body types. If you're making your own body type, you'll have to go in here and modify some settings, which I'm not going to go over in this guide. He's got instructions on how to do it on the mod page description. So if you scroll down here and read this, he has a setup on if you create your own body. But if you have one of these, then you just select, so UMPB is blessed body, and you hit install. Now, to customize the physics bounce, uh, Sinful has a nice MCM enabled configuration. So you install this. I don't think this one has any options. Let me double check. Okay, yeah, the only option is going to be you're going to want the ESP, which he has there, and that's it. So what this will do is it'll add a MCM menu in game that has full configurations for all bounce physics settings. And you can change it in game in real time, so you can tweak it however you want. It's really simple. I would definitely recommend getting in it because the default bounce on it's a little too over exaggerated for me. So once you have all these, we're going to load up our skeleton in fours. So we'll come back here. In Mod Organizer 2, you're going to click your little cog icon. I already have it installed, but if you don't, then obviously you'll just type it in. Now you're going to go into wherever the mod is installed, and you're going to go to this exe generate finis for users.exe. Start in can be the same folder that exe is in, and then you'll hit add. So once that's all set, click on that and you run it. So you should get this right here. Wait till it loads. So the only one you really need is skeleton arm fix. This one. This one I have checked because I have other mods that add gender specific animations. Even if you don't and you check it, it's not going to hurt anything. So it's up to you. So once you have that checked, you hit update finis behavior. So for it's going to run its little script thing real quick. And then once it's done, for most people, especially if you haven't installed any other mods with animations, you're not going to see anything here. This is going to probably be 0. This all here is probably going to be 0. The only reason I have all these is these extra mods add animations into the game. What you're looking for is this up here. You're looking for the XPMS or XPM32 HDT. So this skeleton loaded for male and female. That's it. So if this is here and it says the HDT one, then you're set. So once you see that, you can hit exit. And I don't create shortcuts, so no. So by default, it's going to put it in your overwrite folder. Really, there's no harm in leaving it there because overwrite's at the end. It's going to load whatever's in overwrite anyway. But I don't usually keep a lot of stuff in there, so you can drag this into that folder and then it overwrites what's in there. That's optional, but I usually only have logs in here. These are all log files. All right, so once that's set, your physics is set up. Now, how everything's installed right now, it will only work on nude NPCs. It will not work on any armors because there's no armors that are bounce enabled, so or physics enabled. So the first thing you're going to need to do is get a replacer that is physics enabled. Most of the ones you're going to find are skimpy armors. This is the one I use. I actually converted this one from the guy. But if you want a non-skimpy one, Shiva's Blessed Fit one here will work. So you can install that, and it has, if you see TBBP, TBBP is a bounce. So that'll give you the bounce on when they walk. So, all right, so you have that installed. Now the thing is, when you have a for your body, all the armors need to match that body. One of the big misconceptions is, though, that the body is going to change what the armor looks like, and that's not true. So if I have, so say I have my normal blessed body, this isn't going to affect what any of my armors look like by default. The game, it's not how it works. The body shape is dependent on the armor itself. So if I had installed armor with a different shape, it'll appear in game with a different shape, but then when you take the armor off, their body shape will change back into this. So that's why it's a good idea to make sure all your armors also match your body type so you don't get weird stuff like that. The other thing is you want all armors to be the same body type, and the main reason is a lot of armors, how the level lists work is you'll get basically a top, and then you'll get another level list for the shoes, and then another level list for the hands. Well, if your hand are set up for a different body than your actual body, you'll get seams or you'll get little creases or completely missing, like it'll be a empty gap between on the wrist and down at the bottom towards the ankle. You need to have everything matching for that to work properly. So when you're going through armors, adding new stuff, you want to make sure everything is the same body type. It's not going to break your game, but you'll get those obvious creases, seams. So if that bothers you, obviously make sure all your armors that you get match whatever body you select. So now that you got that all set up and you're going through and you want to make some armors fit a body type, you look for Bodyslide. So we're going to get into Bodyslide. So Bodyslide is a program that lets you basically load armors onto specific body shapes. Outfit Studio is a little more has a little more things for it, but you can create new armors, you can refit armors. There's a lot of stuff you can do with Outfit Studio, but we're mostly going to go through Bodyslide, which is a very, very simple program. The thing about it is the UMP support was dropped from the SSE version, so there's no preset configurations on the SSE version. Luckily, they all work from the old RIM one. So what I usually do is first I'll download the old RIM one. When I come to install it here, I think I have it here. Okay. You're going to select Unified UMP. None for race menu and none for this one. These don't matter, you're not going to really use them, but you want to use this as default and then hit install. After you install that one, you're going to go to the SSE site and you're going to download Bodyslide. Now, if you're using cbpc, then you don't have to do the older one. But for those using UMP, get the older one first, then download the SSE one, and then you're going to install it. So with Mod Organizer, what you want to do is you'll hit OK, and then you're going to want to hit Merge. So you don't want to replace it because you want to keep the files from the older one, the UMP files, but you want to replace all the main application files. So you're going to hit Merge, and that'll merge it with the one you just installed. So once you have Bodyslide installed, it will need to be added as a new program. So you'll go up here again, Bodyslide, and for this one you're going into Caliente Tools, Bodyslide, and then Bodyslide x64. So that's your exe. Start in the same, hit add, okay. So first thing is we'll go over how to create a new body. So go into Bodyslide. All right, so your main interface for Bodyslide is this one. So you're going to click on your groups here, the little magnifying glass, and choose group. So unified UMP, and then for this you're going to go the HDT one. So now here's where you can do your different presets. So you click on preview, and that'll give you your little preview. And then here are all your presets for different UMP shapes. So a lot of popular ones like 7BB or 7B is a popular one. You got all these different shapes that you can use. The base one that I usually use is this one. This is Shiva's preset. If you want to create your own, you just go through and you move the sliders however you want. You just play with it and see. One thing you got to keep in mind is if you make the proportions too big, a lot of Bodyslide sliders when you create outfits will not work properly. You'll get a lot of clipping. So you just want to be careful with that, not to get too crazy with the sliders. You have a high weight and a low weight. So depending on the NPC's weight, their weights are set from 0 to 100. That's what the two sides are, and then it'll fill in between. So if the NPC's weight's 50, they're going to look like that. If it's 100, they're going to look like that. If they're 0, they're going to look like that. If you want them to look the same at 100 as 0, you can actually do that with these arrows. It'll copy all the slider presets over to that one. It's all personal preference on this. You can set stuff up however you want. I've done a lot of work with making your own body, but in the end, it's easier just to pick one of the presets, but it's really up to you. So you make it. Now, when you're creating, normally you're going to hit batch build. You want to hold control while you're clicking it. If you hover over there, it goes to a custom. It lets you choose where you want to put it. If you don't do that, when it creates it, it's just going to overwrite the files that are already in your load order. So right now, if I made this body, it would just overwrite my blessed body one that I have installed. Sometimes that's okay. Sometimes you don't want it to do that. So if you hold So it's going to give all the things that are in here. So right now I only want to make all right, the body here, hands, and my feet. Yeah, so, and then you're going to hold control, hit build, and then it's going to give you a directory choice. So for me, I like to put it in overwrite just till I figure out what I'm doing with them. So my overwrite folder, it creates them, you can close it. And if I go in here, my mesh folder, actors, here's my body. The best way to look at it real quick, if you want to make sure it's working, is NIF scope. So real quick, we'll go over a NIF scope. All right. Pretty sure it's still on Nexus. Maybe not. All right. It's actually I think it's on yeah. It's on GitHub. All right. So you'll download NIF scope. Downloads like way down here. Okay. Yeah, so looks like 18. Yeah, so this is gonna be your newest one. So you'll download that. You're gonna have to add it, install it as a mod. Well, you don't have to install it as a mod, but you do have to add it here. So wherever you extract it, actually, I extract mine just into the root directory of my install. So I have it here, and then you're gonna set the exe here, and same thing, hit add. All right, so for this one, you hit run. So on this program, the first thing you want to do is set up your texture path so you actually get textures loaded. You're going to go to Options, Settings, Resources, Archives. So here you're going to add archives, and these are all the textures, so it actually loads them into the game, or into NIF scope. So you hit Add Archives, and then for this, let's see, where was it? Oh yeah, it's just going to be your base game. You can just add your base game textures. So data. So when you're going through, so this is why you got to load it through Mod Organizer, so it shows all your mods. But you want to add all your Skyrim textures, and then if you have any mods with BSA files that have textures, you can add those too, so they'll show up. It's up to you. If the texture is a loose file, then it'll just load it, so that doesn't matter. Then you hit apply, and that'll go here, save. All right, so now we're gonna look at the body we just created. So I have my overwrite here. So you go to your meshes and your body. So there it is. So it's all created, everything looks fine. NIF scope's a very useful utility. I'll show you one thing you can do with it in a minute. So we're going to close here. So now that we got everything set up, we have a replacer that has that's bounce enabled. You can always read the descriptions on a lot of them. It'll tell you if they're physics enabled or not. We're going to do some body slide work with new outfits. So For example, this one, it's UUMP physics body slide. So when you're looking at body slide files, um, no, we don't have HDT high heel support, so don't get those versions. So this is the one we're going to use. Yep. So you download that. And then when you're looking at these, body slide files will be in the Caliente Tools body slide, and then you'll have your groups. These are the actual body slide files for the armors. So once you have that there, you'll have it enabled. You'll bring up body slide. Now you're going to go here, choose groups, and look for the one that you just enabled. So it's the Dragon Lily one. Sometimes when you come here, you click on that, choose groups, you won't see the one that you just selected. If that's the case, sometimes it's just unassigned. Just click unassigned and click OK, and it should show up there. So for now, I'm going to do that one, click OK, and then go to the drop down, and you should see the armor. So if you look, you have the armlets, the boots, and the main armor. So we're going to click on the main armor, and you're going to go to preview. So there's our armor, and then you're going to select your preset. If you made your own, it'll show up here as long as after you did all your sliders, you hit save as, and then just give it a name, and then it'll come up here. So you're going to select whatever your preset is. So if we're using that one. Now with body slide, one thing I like to do is check for major clipping. Some of them aren't made properly for different body sizes. So you want to check at the 0 and the 100 range to see if it like clips completely through the body. So go in here, and if you look, everything looks perfectly fine. No clipping, no issues. So this is a good body slide. Everything looks like it's working. All right, so like before, I'm gonna go to batch. Oh, for the other stuff, you can look at it too if you want. Usually if the body's fine, see, depending on how it's set up, you don't even have the body, so there's not really much you can do with a lot of the extra stuff. Yeah, so as long as the body's fine, the rest should normally be okay. So you go to batch build. Now, right now, if I hit build, it's going to overwrite the meshes that are already in there. So right now I think this one has pre-built meshes. Yeah, so it's got these in here. So we can look 313. The date on these is 126. So batch build, build. All right, so refresh it. Now if you look, it just replaced them. If you didn't want it to auto replace those, you hit control and then you tell it where you want it to put it. So that's just, I've seen a lot of people, they create something in here, hit batch, and they're like, where the hell did it go? It overwrote the files that are already in here is where it went. So it's up to you how you want to do it. And then also it's up to you if you want to load it in IfScope and take a look and see how it looks. It's optional, but if it looks fine in Bodyslide, I'm sure it looks fine. Alright, so that's how you would make an armor, and then you just go through, find different ones with Bodyslide files. Once it's done, you can delete this if you want. It's up to you. Like, I'm not going to use that again, but you can always reinstall it if you wanted to. Some of them take a lot of space. It just depends. Like the replacers, like Like these have tons of Bodyslide files. I don't have Bodyslides on this one, but the original mod does. You can use Bodyslide files from old RIM, just keep in mind that they don't always work and sometimes you'll have clipping issues, so just double check them, but most of the time they do work. So one note on old RIM files, a lot of the really old ones, the texture paths were different. So I'm going to show you how to fix that in NifScope real quick. So one of them I found with that issue is this Siri outfit. So while we do that, I'm also going to show you how to take this Siri outfit and make it as a replacer for, let's say, the barkeep outfit. So first thing we're going to do, go to Bodyslide, run it. So like we looked before, no Siri outfit, even though I got it checked. So it's probably under unassigned. And there it is. So go to outfit, preview. So this is a pretty nice outfit. Check here. Everything looks good. No major clipping. All right. So I think this one has a pre-built one already in the main folder. Yeah. All right. So we'll go ahead and batch build this one. Okay. All right. So we got our new outfit here. All right. So when we bring it up in NifScope, let me see if this one has the issue. I think it was this one that had the issue when I was looking at it previously. Let's get Siri outfit, copy, and we'll paste that in here. Meshes. All right. So, okay, it's actually fine once you run it through Bodyslide. Okay, so the texture paths, that's right, because Bodyslide will fix the texture paths, but some of the old RIM normal mods are going to have messed up textures here. So if they're messed up, you'd click on the actual body texture, and then you come over here and it'll highlight the body type. You're going to click on the little arrow here, and then you're going to go to BS Lighting Shader Property and expand that. And then you're going to go to the texture set. So this is your body textures. Now this is what they're supposed to look like. Now I'm going to show you what a lot of the old RIM mods that you might download are going to look like. That's right, the default one. Okay, so Siri outfit. Where's the original? Siri outfit. Here it is. All right, so I'll make another folder and we'll load that. Gonna load a new instance of NifScope. Let me copy this path here. Okay. Does this one, oh, does this one not have, oh, okay, it's in a BSA. Another thing with old RIMs is you have to extract the BSAs. If you do not, your game will crash. So select. All Alright, so now we're in loose files, and we should be able to see. Alright, there we go. Am I in the right one? Be funny if I accidentally downloaded the same one again. Nah, that should be it. Yep, there we go. Okay, so look at the body texture. It's all freaking jacked up. All messed up. So if you click on it and you go to where we went before, the shader set, you can see here it's got this astrid body texture. And that's what is causing it to look like that. So what you want to do is fix the path. Now the easiest way is just copy and paste from one you know that works. So you can go to your base body if you want. So you can open two instances in this scope. We'll go to our normal UMP bless body. So go to your meshes, your body here. This is a weight thing that I have set on there, but normally it'll just be a clean body. Alright, so you're going to go to your texture set, and then you're just going to copy and paste from one to the other. So just side by side these, and copy and paste, and copy and paste. And if you notice that one had a MSN texture, but it was a 0, so that would mess it up too. You gotta just copy and paste all of them. The SK one was actually right, but it's fine. And there. And then there we go. It's all fixed. So then you're gonna go and hit save. And then you gotta make sure to do it to the 0 also, because that one's gonna be jacked up too. So go there and copy, paste, copy, paste, copy. Oh, that one's fine, but copy, paste, and we're all fixed. So you hit save. So that's if you download like an old RIM UMPB or whatever, and the textures are all jacked up. That's a quick, easy fix for that. Alright, so you got this cool new armor made. You want it to be a replacer for one of your normal armors in game. Now, to do that, you're going to bring up your normal replacer. So I use BD UUMP as my normal replacer. And then you're going to bring out the armor that you're doing. Go to the mesh. So most everything on replacer is just going to have, so we're going to set barkeeper, is going to have your basic torso armor and usually shoes and maybe gloves and a hat. So you're just going to replace what it already has. Now, the thing to keep in mind is, as I said before, is a lot of these shoes and gloves and hats are leveled-less, so they don't always match the torso. So if you're replacing a torso here, you might not get the shoes that you put here all the time, and these shoes might show up on other outfits. So you don't want to do stuff that's too far out there. The only way to force someone to wear a complete set is doing outfits, which I'm going to do that in my next video. But for now, just keep that in mind. So, but literally all you're going to do is overwrite this. So it's a good idea to maybe make a new folder called backup and copy these into here, but you're just going to rename, and then just make sure you're matching up the 1 for the 1 and the 0 for the 0. And then if you wanted the shoes, you could always keep those the same, or obviously you could change them for the boots. And you rename it, you take this, overwrite it, and that's it. And you go in game next time, and when you see a barkeep, it'll have this Siri outfit. Well, at least it'll have the top. It might have different shoes or whatever, but I'd say like more than half of my replacer here I've replaced with outfits that I found more preferable. Um, yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about for this video. Um, as you're going through, you're gonna see a lot of UUMP stuff. Um, There's some good stuff, like you can have the immersive armor refit. Obviously, always check um, special edition, because if you're using the old rim, remember to run NIF scope. I guess I should have gone over that. If you're using an old rim mod and you create meshes for it, you want to run them through NIF optimizer. You can get that on Nexus. So you just go to browse, your meshes folder for the armor, and hit optimize. And that's it. You can look under here and you can see what it did. But if you don't do that, you can get either crashes, you get the triangles over some of the pieces. So make sure you run that. It's not a guarantee that it's always going to work properly. There's occasionally some outfits that just don't work converted, but it's pretty rare. So when you're looking through armors on the old Rim Nexus, most of them should work, but I would just make sure to look at Special Edition because most of them have Special Edition equivalents already, so that saves you the time from having to do that. Oh, Pandorable's got her Dawn Guard up. Cool. Anyway, yeah, that was the video. For people interested, I was going to go over real quick Outfit Studio, how to combine outfit pieces to make as replacers. So I'm going to do that real quick, but as far as the physics part and getting Bodyslide going and all that, that's pretty much it. So for those interested, if you get an armor that has, so say you're looking for a replacer, you want to replace your wench outfit. You looking around, well, the wench outfit is just one body piece. Well, some armors come in or some clothing pieces come in like 4 different pieces. If you just renamed like the top and you put that in your game, they're going to just be wearing a top and nothing else. So you can combine pieces to make a full armor in Outfit Studio. So what we do is you go to Bodyslide. You're going to come down here to Outfit Studio. This is going to bring up Outfit Studio. Now, there's a lot of stuff in Outfit Studio, which I'm not going to go over, but this is real simple, just real simple combining. Shizoff, actually, from the creator of cbpc, showed me how to do this. I was doing it in NIFScope, which is a huge pain in the ass. This is super easy. So what you're going to do is you're going to load the base outfit. So it's usually going to be either like the top usually, or sometimes the underwear. It's going to be the one that's got the full body on it. If you're not sure, you can just open them up in NIFScope and look. So you're going to go to load outfit from file and browse. Now you're going to find, let's see, um, go to your mod folder wherever it's installed. I think I have it in this one. Yep, this one. So for this one, it's called female body, so it's pretty obvious. So we're going to open that on the one and automatic, okay. So it's going to load one piece of the armor. So this one, the piece was the underwear. If I tried to just copy this over, all the winches, all they would have is underwear on. So I want to complete the full outfit. So how you do that is you just go to import from NIF, and then you go through the different pieces. So for this one, you have a skirt, this little skirt here. Import from NIF, bracelets, these guys. Import from NIF, our top. And this one has stockings. Import from NIF. Stockings. Make sure they're all the ones or else the size won't match up. Okay, so once you have this all set, you have to set all the partitions. So what that means is click on each one, go to partitions, make sure it says 32 SBP 32 body, just like that. So that one's already good. So go back, click on the next one. So if you look, this one was not. It'll highlight it red, the one that you're selected. Now what'll happen is if you tried to load this in the game right now, anything that's not set to that 32 would not show up in game. So you just go here, 32, right here, body, apply. So go back and go to the next one. These are all good. So actually the extra the extra UUMPs you can get rid of. They're not needed. They were extra added from different pieces. You just need the one main body and then all your little add-ons. So we just did that one. So the skirt's the one we just did. Gloves. So now you see the gloves set up like that. So what this is doing is it's creating it all as one body mesh. So it displays as one piece. And the underwear, 32. And the top. Yep, oh no, the stockings. Okay. And then once you're done, you're just gonna do export to NIF and then just export it over. You can rename it, you can export it over the base one, whatever you want to do. And then once you save it, that's it. And then you got to go through and do exactly the same thing, but do it with all the zeros. And then once you're all set, you're going to have your 0 and 1 meshes, and then you can rename those as whatever, your wench outfit. Copy it over and replace the default wench outfit, and then this will show up in game whenever you see a wench. It's pretty simple. It takes a couple seconds. You can do this with the bikini armors because those have like 20 freaking pieces. To combine them into one, that takes a while because there's so many damn pieces, and then you got to do the 0 and the 1. That's just an easy way to combine outfit pieces and make them into one solid piece. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this one. Next one I'm gonna do is gonna be about outfit level list stuff and outfit templates and how to get NPCs to wear certain things and how that all works. So Stay tuned for that. Have a good one.